Hey guys, how's it going? Ghostly Rich here today, and today we are going to be setting up this forge set. As you can see, these I'm not going to bother showing you. All it is swapping the handles around. I did have one defective handle, so I'm going to have to take a look at that. That's the chest under there. And then the next thing I'm going to need to do is build the bed frame. So I'm going to open up all these boxes and put the pieces off to the side, and then I'll show you how I assemble it. Lie it down like this. If you have hardwood, lie it down on the cardboard. You don't want to scratch the surface. I have carpet and it's vacuumed, so it can just lie right there. First thing you need to note is the orientation right here. 1, 2, 3. So what we're gonna do is look for 1, 2, 3, so that matches up. We know it's gonna go into there. Dowels are right here. They're gonna slide into here. First, take a screw. Then you'll see that you need to put a spring washer on, and then a flat washer. Do this with all the screws. You'll notice that 2 are smaller. Make sure you use the smaller of the spring washers. And I think they don't even use the big flat washer because they probably go into this. But first things first. Yes, it definitely goes into here because it's going to go into that hole in here like that. And it just slides onto the screw. So if we take a look here, you'll see the 2 dowels right there. That's going to slide into there. And then over here, this side will slide into here. These 2 dowels will go into here. Do that. We're going to just slightly piece this together. Once these 2 dowels are inside of here, we'll slide it up and make sure it lines up in there. Lightly thread all your screws in like that. So that way we know they're going to line up with the holes. And then next is to get these screws in here now. The reason why these are like this on this washer is so you can slip this on afterwards. You want to get this in on an angle like that. And then you're going to try and finger tighten this into the hole. Make sure you don't use the Allen key at first, because what you want to do is get it into the threads and make sure that they go in easy so that way you don't strip them. Just like that. So from this point, you would squeeze that around, make sure the spring washer is on this side, and just do it on both. We're going to tighten these 2 up first, and then we'll tighten those ones. And the reason why is this is going to suck this together to give the H-frame a very strong hold. And then when we do that, that's going to, of course, hold the headboard on. So I got this one in, no problem. This one was fun. It's literally super, super tight. I just got it in. And so now we're good. Next thing we're gonna do, tighten up these screws. Now what you could do if you really wanted to, just to make sure it's even, you could stand the headboard up and then tighten those up at the very end to make sure everything's level and set. What I will tell you to do is, if you want to, have somebody hold it so it's standing up on these legs, and then you can tighten them up. And that way you can, if you're really crazy about making sure it's level. If not, these screws are going to push down anyway and it's going to level itself out, but I'll leave it up to you. If it's on hardwood, it's much more prominent than if it's on carpet. Carpet will absorb a lot of it, but hardwood, you don't want that teetering effect. So I would tighten these up and then, like I said, stand it up so someone's holding it, and then you just tighten those screws while it's standing up. As you can see, we have 2 styles of screws again. With your long skinny ones, throw just on the spring washer. It's a smaller spring washer. And then you have a larger spring washer and a washer. You should have in total about 8 of these, because these are what are going to tie them in. You're just going to have your headboard kind of leaned up against the wall. If you're worried about your paint, take some of that styrofoam that they give you too much of and put it between the wall and there. And then all you're going to do is do what I'm doing right here, where you have your leg like that. And then you're going to take this and put it through, and you just kind of want to match your height and get that first screw in. Again, always finger tight at first. That way you don't strip. Do not just put an impact driver on and start smashing these in, because if you strip them, well, then you strip them. Up to you, I guess. So after we do this, get them in like this. Then you can take this, tighten them up, get them nice and snug, but don't smash them in yet because you don't know if you want it all the way in. These are sliding, so we're just gonna do that. And then when we lean this back, the reason why we're not leaving it super loose is you don't want the threads to get messed up, because what's gonna happen, what you'll see when I do this, all right, that's right where I want it. This one's now gonna get a little more. And you seen how I rotated back and forth? Safest way to do it. So now, camera person, I'm just gonna get you to back up. This, you're gonna get your leg out from underneath. And then have it lean like that on it. Now take your other side and screw that one on using the same method, just by doing this. And again, there's a finished side and an unfinished side. Make sure you put the finished side up. You might notice it's a little bit dirty on top, depending on how long it was sitting in their warehouse. Trust me, it's a little dirty. So, okay, that's now met. And then the other reason why we're leaving this loose, which you see, there's two reasons. One, we need to build the center, and two, the reason why is we're going to put the headboard on next, or sorry, the tailboard, footboard. And when we do that, you want this looser so when you put it on, it sets to your floor. Because if it doesn't set to your floor, that's when you get the rickety stuff, where every time you move, especially since it's very rare for floors to be 100% level. Take that from somebody who sees it all the time. So, especially if you got hardwood. Okay, now that we've got that, I'm gonna go grab my tailboard and move the dog. I know, Mika. It's time to get up. Say hello. All right, I need to move my dog. But that's how you're gonna do it. The next way to do this part is, if you're wondering how, you just pick this up like so, and it'll slowly bring up that end. As you lift this, that's why you're snugging it, but you're not going overly tight. And as you lift it, screw it into there, lift that side up, screw it in, and then we can start putting the rest of this together. So again, using your leg, hold this up, and then if you can, hold the board really close to it. And you're just gonna put them in like that. And then now that these are snug, this is one firm bed, I'll give it that. I love how these ones come on compared to the other styles. I've had a lot of beds in my time, and this one, actually, not a whole bunch of my time, but I've taken apart enough beds because of moving and helping friends move. And yeah, this is pretty sturdy. Like this bed frame, wait till you feel this headboard. When you're building this, that headboard alone is ridiculous. So now that it's sitting like this, when we're doing this part, line the two end ones up right in the center. If you have a tape measure, you can measure out if you want to get crazy with it. If not, see how there's this second screw hole here? I would bring it just a little bit past, or line it up halfway on that screw hole, and then line this one up halfway on that screw hole, just like that. And then what you're gonna do is put in those little silver or goldish screws here, Goldie silvers, and you're just going to screw them in with a Phillips screwdriver, and you should be good. Now, the next thing is, so many Allen keys going on here. You have these, and what these do is you put the foot underneath, and then it goes through. Make sure you have that spring washer on there. And then you're just going to tighten this so it goes like this. Square it up if you're OCD. Again, that's why I mentioned tape measure, because some people are going to want that. Now with most beds, if you want to delete the box spring, you would do plywood, which is what I was possibly going to be doing for this. But I think what I'm gonna do to add even more rigidity, I'm gonna see how the mattress sits first. I'm gonna measure it in here because I wanna make sure that the mattress sits nice and tight so you don't see it. But I think what I'm actually gonna do is lie 2x4s across here. 2x4s are cheap. If you wanted to literally do every inch of this, there's 60 inches, so you would need about 15 2x4s. And if you did 15 2x4s, because it'd be 4 times 15 would be 60, but you're gonna lose a 1/4 inch, but it's all right. You can have a little bit of space in between your 2x4s. But I'm using a Tempur-Pedic mattress, that's why. If you're going to be using a box spring will run you about 200 and something bucks. You do my 2x4 idea, depending on how thick you want the bed. Like if you want the bed to be up higher, then I would suggest you do your box spring. It'll bring it up a little bit. But if you do 2x4s, it'll bring it up about that much, or you could turn them sideways, whichever way. When you turn them up sideways, you would then, from there, you'd have to screw them in from the bottom of this to hold that 2x4 up. Or you lie them flat and it just brings it up 2 inches, and then the bed mattress will come up to about here. And then there, we'll have to see. Again, I have to measure my mattress. Let me get these feet on, just like this, and then we'll screw them in. I will also grab a tape measure and measure this length, and I'll tell you where I measure to. All right, so if you measure between these two holes, it's some weird measurement, like you line it up in the center, 10 1/4. So if you're going to do this, you would do 5, and if it's gonna bug you enough, you can listen to your dog groan. 5 1/8, which is like right here. All right. So if I go here, that's 5 1/8. And if I come here, it's 5 1/8. Yeah, that's it. So as you can see, we are right there. And then you'd skip this gap, go to the next gap, do 5 1/8, 5 1/8, or sorry, you'd go 5 1/8, gap, 5 1/8, gap, 5 1/8, and then screw these two in on the sides. And if you really wanted to, you could measure directly center, but I'm fine doing 5 1/8. Perfect. Another trick, square it up against the board, tighten it, keep your screw gun away from the edge. Even if you have to put this on a little bit of an angle, whatever you do, just keep it away from the edge. Otherwise, if your screw gun rubs the edge, you're done. Another thing, only do this edge. And the reason why, we're gonna screw all the ones up on this edge and keep it square. Then you're gonna go over here and we're gonna suck these sides in and put a level on them to make sure that they're like that. You could have them a little tilted if you wanted to try and suck it up against the mattress so you don't see what's going on down here. I'll leave that up to you. But what I like to do is just do this. So you tighten it, and then from there, I can, of course, move the screws around, do whatever the heck I want. And keeps everything nice square, makes it more sturdy if you want. I'm also gonna be doing another thing to make this bed more sturdy, which you'll see later. But let's just do this. There we go. Nice and flush. This one we just have to put back in. There. We got some brand new ice blue sheets to go on here. Should really accent the brown. And the other thing we have are some Dusk 2.0 pillows, which we picked up because they were on sale for like 50 bucks each, down from 200. And yeah, I can't wait. Just wait, we're gonna sheet the bed and then we'll throw some stuff on. Just opened up the bed gear pillows. Take a look at these, super easy. Definitely when you open the bed gear stuff, you can see the quality, like the corners on these. They have a stitched corner. You know when you go to put a mattress cover on and it just always lets go, drives you bonkers? Well, that's what's awesome with this one. It's got an extra piece of elastic to hold the corner in. So we put it on and we didn't have to even worry about the mattress trying to pop out of it. Worked out great. So the next thing is throw our new pillowcases on. We already have the fitted sheet on. Throw a duvet on this. Make it look pretty for you guys. Well, guys, there you go. That's the bed all built and done. I know, too many pillows. But the blue ones have the new body pillows in them. The gray ones are the old pillows, and then just some other ones that have been collected over time. Also using Alexa now as an alarm clock. Should be different. And I just said Alexa, so it's going to probably say something. But yeah, other than that, this is the bedroom set done. Thanks again for watching. Press like if you liked it, and subscribe for more. The only thing I didn't buy is that mirror chest piece, because I already have this big tall mirror, which I like better than that. Anyways,